Yep. Okay. Hey,
There we
welcome to another episode of Panakal Podcast for Geeks, the show about good friends hanging out, talking about the things we love. You guys all know my co-host Andrew Sides. He's down for
Hey.
some reason today. I can move you around, I think, with this app. And our guest today is Scott Brundage, who we finally got on the show. I don't see it pushing live yet. Does anyone else have this problem?
No, I see it live.
Is it? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is live. Okay, good.
Yeah, it'll on YouTube. It's like probably like 10 to 30 seconds behind.
Okay.
behind or
Okay.
whatever.
All right. So we'll just assume it'll show up on YouTube as it should.
Yeah, it will.
Cool. So welcome to the show, Scott. We usually start out by trying to figure out where I may have met you, or we established you have not met Andrew, or you may or may not have had a.
Apparently, I had dinner with him 10 years ago, and I don't recall
possibly.
it.
Yeah, possibly. But at LuxCon, it's possible we had met or something during then.
Most nights, I'm not making memories. Between
Exactly.
lack of sleep and abundance of whiskey is. I have a great time, and I remember like a quarter.
Well, I was so in my head I was trying to remember, and I think I met you in Allentown my first time at LuxCon, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
And then I think I just started. I did this thing back in the day because I was like, how am I ever going to be friends with these artists if I just don't message them and talk to them, right? Like, I'm going to be part of this industry, so I would message. And I think you and I just started talking on Facebook, and then Messenger.
That's right. Yeah, I think it's similar to Dave, which is like had to be either a LuxCon or IMC, and you said you never went to IMC, and I was like, well, that.
Yeah, I've never been to
LuxCon.
IMC.
Then, yeah.
IMC was always one of those things that scared me. So
I admire though that you're good at like staying in touch with people, which I am not at all.
Yeah, so, me neither.
Yeah, you and I actually
so terrible.
Scott and I actually didn't talk for like you. So I didn't talk to you for a while, and then last year's LuxCon,
right?
I was standing in front of Scott's booth. This dude just walks over. I'm like, where the hell have you been? You know?
Yeah, no, I went into an animation hole for like 7 years because I was at LuxCon every year, and then having an abundance of work that paid way better and more regularly.
I mean, that's a good thing, right?
I was going to ask you about that because, like, I didn't know that you had done some animation work and all that.
Yeah, it's weird because, like, I was consistently employed basically with, like, a couple months depending on how seasons worked out or what productions were in production, from like 2017 till the writer's strike in 23.
Oh, wow.
And basically I was doing like a trickle of illustration stuff, but like it was mainly just like I'll have one big picture book I'll do on nights and weekends, and then every once in a while like a small job, and then basically when the writer's strike hit, all the production in the studio I worked with just ended because it was the Late Show animation studio, so like all the writers, it's so writer heavy because it's like topical, and all that went away. And for some reason, the publisher I've been working with for like 6 books in a row stopped calling the same month. So it was
they just went dark, huh?
Yeah, it was a weird year going from like having someone telling me what to draw basically every 10 minutes to just having a wide open space of like, you figure out what you want to paint. And I've like took a couple months to kind of like,
oh my gosh,
rejigger what my brain can do. Like, oh, what do I like drawing? I don't remember.
Yeah.
And then I landed on monkeys essentially.
Monkeys.
That was the other thing I was going to ask you about, but we can go to it later if you want to talk about anything else. No?
I mean, if you want to hear more about animation, I can talk about it.
Well, yeah, actually, so like, are you like? Because I was looking at your stuff. Like, you're like primarily what, like children's book and then editorial.
Dude, I follow whatever will help me survive. So like, for a long time, it was mainly editorial. And it's the kind of thing where like it's the stuff where everyone tells you this in school, where you have to have a picture of something that someone can use before they even consider you for it.
Right.
So like I was doing a lot of like editorial stuff, and then my skills were getting to the point where like I could do a book cover, and then I even got like a a Word in Spectrum, where it was like a square format, and even like Dave Palumbo was briefly an art director for Nightshade Books, and I was like, dude, why haven't you given me a cover assignment? And he's like, do you have any cover samples? And I'm like, no. And I was like, fuck, okay. And that's why I actually went to IMC. And after the first IMC, I had like one really good sample, and I made another one, and then started getting book cover work like immediately after. Yeah, I'm not sure how that related to the original question, but that's
yeah. So, but then, like, so I'm curious. Then, how did you segue? Like, how did you get segue into animation? Then was that they just saw that work there, and then they contacted you, or?
No. Actually, it was even more lateral. It was when I was living in New York, I would go to every opening at the Society of Illustrators and just schmooze. And I met someone who worked with the Inkwell Foundation, which I hadn't heard of before. Have you guys heard that?
I have.
Why don't you tell the audience what it is?
It's pretty amazing. Like it's essentially it's a foundation that teams up artists and animators with basically children in long-term care hospitals, or at one point I did a thing with an orphanage or foster care home. Basically, children in long-term stay. You just go there and you draw with them. Sometimes it's focused, sometimes you just request stuff and you draw with them, and it's really fun. But the person who ran it used to be like a project manager or something for the Venture Brothers. So when our cartoon president started like staffing up, one of the line producers there tapped her, just like, do you know anyone who's available and lives in New York? And that was basically it. I tested for it. Yeah.
That's
my God,
essentially how it is.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so I did like a bunch of like, at one point they had like 3 or 4 shows in production, and I touched every one of them, and now they basically exist only to do the Christmas special for the Late Show, which I just finished up on last week, my part of it at least.
Oh man,
yeah.
I was going to ask about for like the Late Show stuff. Like you're doing, so there's some animation stuff happening in there.
So they it's the same team, because at one point in the Late Show building, a floor below Colbert's offices was just a sea of computers and animators, and that's what we're doing. Cartoon President, a show no one liked called Fairview, a show that got Emmy nominated called Tuning Out the News, and then a movie that never aired called Washingtonia. They're all being done right there. And so when like one of the directors is like pitched doing a late show Christmas special to Colbert, he already had the staff there, which like it basically, if you were not busy on something, you could like make something for the special. So like they were like really, it was really cheap to make because we already had stuff in production at the time, and then now it's like a special thing, and they have to like scrounge for money. And but now it's the last one, so like this late one it's gonna be like 8 minutes, which is longer than it's been for a while, and it looks great and it's really funny. And
it's because
it's like lightning speed, like it's do something as hilarious as possible and move on. Like whereas you
don't have time to think about
it. Painstakingly making sure everything is perfect and stuff, and like quality control, all that. But this is more fun, and I got to do a gross up. Which
like a close up key art kind of thing.
Yeah. So like Ren and Stimpy was like formative for me, and so like I asked him if we could do that on Cartoon President. I even like did it on my iPad of Eric Trump's mouth just like really drooling with his teeth and stuff.
Oh my goodness!
And basically the showrunner was like, "Yeah, that's cool, but it's not our show." And then I got to do the same one with him wearing elf ears, and they just animated his mouth saying "Love me, Dad," like as Trump gave him a Christmas gift. And then this one I got to do his bruised hand and his cankles.
Oh boy!
Oh my goodness!
Which they had to give me notes, basically saying like, make it a little bit less gross. Like, all right.
So wait, so like so you like Ren and Stimpy. Have you ever seen Scott Will's work on that, or like Samurai Jack or anything like that? Like he was I'm trying to remember, like, because I know a lot of animation artists as well. Scott Wills was a background painter for Ren and Stimpy, and then eventually Samurai Jack and like Genndy Tartakovsky's like Clone Wars, and then a bunch of other, like Tartakovsky stuff and all that or whatever.
Sure.
But he's a dude that's been in the industry for so long that like he used to do those paintings in like acrylic and everything.
Yeah, it must have been him because I know one of the other guys is William Ray. He did a bunch of
Bill Ray. Yep, yeah,
Bill Ray.
And a fine artist.
And they're so like as gross as they are, they're beautifully made. Like
yeah.
That's where I was like, oh my god! Like if I found a picture of it, like a still picture, I'm like, oh, this is like lovely.
It's like, definitely one of those
ticks in an ear or something. You
know? Oh yeah, like there's one he has one up on his blog. I'll send you a link to his blog later.
Oh,
but he has one where it's a close up of trying to remember the names.
Ren's the dog.
Ren. Sorry, yeah, I was trying. I was trying to like do the voices in my head. And be like, okay, who's saying So it's a close up of like Ren's ear, and it's like all like this wax and stuff or whatever,
filled with ticks or whatever.
Yeah, and there's like a photorealistic quarter stuck in it.
Oh yeah.
And if I remember right on the blog, he says like, oh yeah, like I literally just took like a photostat of a quarter. And then just like comped it into the painting, and then like kind of like brushed it up a little just to kind of fit within it and stuff. And it's like, oh, perfect. I would love like to see. It's like the work that he's done.
That.
Yeah, no, my dryer is like angry at me.
Oh, okay.
Like the little gouache work I've seen, like Scott Wills did a bunch of like gouache work for the Star Wars Clone Wars cartoons and all that, and they're all like this big, but it's like for like a full background kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, like how are you getting this detail in?
Usually they got to do that and then 3 other things in the same day.
Exactly. Yeah. Or like, but yeah, I would love it, like, because it's like almost kind of like a lost art at this point. I would, and like the people that do know it haven't really done like courses on it, because I would love to like either like Nathan Fowkes or Scott Wills or one of like the other handful of people just to be like, okay, like here's how we did this shit back on like DreamWorks back in the day for like acrylics, and this is how we had to do like the backgrounds for like Road to El Dorado or whatever.
Now they won't let you do it because it'll take too long, but
they won't let you do it. Like, I feel like there's like a lot of techniques that are probably worth knowing that just are not. It's like kind of lost to time because it's like, yeah, there's like a handful of people that know them nowadays, and it's like they're busy doing other stuff, and they're not going to show anything like that about how to do it. And it's like almost like, oh yeah, no one wants to know it at this point, or at least maybe that's the thinking.
There was a show at the Rockwell Museum of I'm going to blank on the artist's name, but it was basically one of like the turn of the century pen and ink guys who's like up there with like Rackham and stuff. He got drafted to work on Snow White concept art.
Oh,
if you remember his name, let me know because I'm blanking on it. So like it was a lot of his work, a lot of like watercolor paintings.
Yeah.
And then they just show like these big backgrounds that just credit to studio artists, and they're these beautiful masterworks of watercolor. And then like they don't even know who did this because he probably did that in a day and moved on.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't even know who did it.
Yeah, exactly. And like I'm thinking, like it's I enjoy a lot of stuff I do for animation because, I mean, I love illustration, but like every picture book I've done, you know, it's a cover, sometimes end pages, 32 pages, you know, whatever how many spreads, and then a front and back. And by the time I'm done with all that, I hate the way I work because I usually have it where like
you have to stay one particular look.
Right, yeah. I get the sketches in. It takes a while to get approved. So I get busy with other stuff because I have 6 months to do it. And then I realize, oh man, I have 5 weeks to do 35 paintings.
Oh, Jesus.
And so like all I do is just my same process. Right. And by the end, I'm like, I hate picking up a pencil. I hate picking up a brush. But with a animation, and one day you might do a prop, a character, a unique pose, just someone's expression. and then every once in a while it grows up. Like you're always kind of excited, and then they pay you.
Yeah, it changes around a bit. Yeah.
Oh, I bet it's
that's like that's what I've liked about like advertising work is it's such a compressed timeline that it's kind of like you don't have you can't be too precious with it. You just have to get it done.
Yeah, and I kind of like the pressure. Like not last year, maybe the year before. They tried to get because we had like a limited budget and a small timeline. Instead of having just a narrative, we're going to have someone narrate the show. So they wanted to get Patrick Stewart. So I had to quickly whip up Patrick Stewart so they could like pitch it to him. You're going to look like this in a scarf. And like it ended up he couldn't do it because he was busy doing something else. So I had to make Liam Neeson in 10 minutes.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
And like I pulled it out of my ass and was like, "Holy shit, Scott!" And then like they got him and he did it. And then like at one point I had a recording of him in the booth saying, "You made me awfully handsome, possibly too." It's like that.
There's no way I could do that in 10 minutes. I don't. Let alone 35 images in 5 weeks.
I mean, that's why I kind of fell off the map because I wasn't really making a lot of paintings that I was super proud of. They worked for the book. I'm happy with them, but like nothing was like me flexing muscles, like something you would put into like the LuxCon or like a Spectrum entry. It was just like, yeah,
you had stuff dog. This year at a LuxCon.
No, I mean that was also a collection of the last 7 years plus 3 before that, and then the last 2 years. Sure. And it was like a lot of stuff that like I showed at a LuxCon exactly once before, back when I had that weekend salon, and it was just because I had that zombie book that came out, and I think I made like $1,200. So I was like, this maybe isn't for me.
It's not a. I always tell people when they want to do the showcase, I'm like, it's not. It's really there to like showcase your work, and hopefully, an art director sees it. Right? It's not really.
Yeah, but this year I brought a whole lot more, and I had a lot more stuff that was like, aimed at this is a nice object, as opposed to a lot of my work. If I don't have an idea for it, like I don't feel like showing it. But now I feel like I've had enough. I've evolved enough where like some of my studies I think are these are beautiful. Someone might want this, but it took 20 years to get to where a sketch might be something someone might want to buy. So like I did well this year. It was very validating. So I'm aiming at the main show next year.
Oh,
so,
sweet.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really. I think I only tried for the main show. Not this year, but last year I had traditional work. It sold out so fast. I was shocked. I was like, oh, and everyone's like, we've been waiting for you to paint. I mean, Andrew has one of them, right? Everyone's like, this is great. So then I submitted all of those to the main show just to be like, let's take a crack at this. But I didn't get in. So I was like, that's fine. I really don't want to work 5 days in a row. Like,
but it's a lot. I think I talked to you about that too. Like the one thing I noticed is like everyone's super stoked the first night of the showcase, and a couple people are like, I'm going to come back for that one. And then the next night, like they're all blitzed drunk because it's the last night of and they forget to come by. Or if you're there for 5 days, people can really sit and like think about like, should I pull the trigger on that big one? So I mean,
the biggest like my thing I always tell people with this, if it's something small, like you see this wall behind me, this is all traditional pieces that I bought throughout. Once I started making money, I was like, I can buy some stuff at a LuxCon, right? When I see things I like. And like with these little ones, I'm always just like, if it's like $400 or something, I bring X amount with me. I save throughout the year at the shows and I just buy it right away because I've been that person where I'm like, I'll be back. And then it's gone.
Yeah.
Or you forgot you wanted it. Right. And those two things have happened to me. And it happened to me enough times where I was just like, okay, now you're sad because you really wanted that piece, and now you don't have it. Simple. That's your own fault. And so, but I also understand not everybody has money just throw at art right away, especially this year.
I did a couple, I think I did like a total of like 6 like really small monkey heads, and they were gone except for one that Chris Burdett like bird dogged as I was setting up my table. Like they all sold before even like the doors even opened.
That's great.
Like, that's very nice. And I was like, I should have priced these higher.
Yes, that's usually what that means.
Those are the watercolor studies that you posted on like Facebook. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, some of them were, the small ones were all acrylic, but they I treat them all the same way. Yeah, I treat it like I'm so used to watercolor that I just treat acrylic the same way, just water it down, do layers and all that.
Wow.
Okay.
Do you want me to share your ArtStation first or your main website first?
Dealer's choice. ArtStation's pretty consistent. My website is like it's a little bit all over the place, and that's why I made the ArtStation, just so there wasn't a 8th category on my main site.
Let's see if I can figure this out. Okay, that looks good. Don't need that. This looks good. And then I think I go here. Nope. Up there.
Almost. Yep. And then
there. It's just not showing up yet. So hang on. Yeah, I know what it is. I remember what it is. Hang on. I got it, guys. I keep forgetting that I have to add it to the stage.
Oh, that's right.
So then I just have to go. There we go.
Stage
and I can do like, you can do like a.
Oh, neat.
Like this. Or we can just share the whole thing like this. And then nobody needs to really see our faces for a minute.
Sure.
We could do that. Okay, wait. So like that pig one, is that was that acrylic?
Well, it's the way like pretty much all these are now acrylic ink and acrylic.
Okay.
Basically, I was working in watercolor for a long time, and it got to the point where yeah. So this actually, I found some really nice board that I later discovered was discontinued, and I was just kind of seeing how much abuse it could take with a million washes, and these are kind of the results. Just do like really dark animals, and with the really making them that dark, there's something like inherently sinister.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, that's the word I was looking for.
No, yeah, I love these. Like, and these are all acrylic, is that right?
Acrylic ink.
Acrylic ink. Okay.
W and Liquitex mainly, yeah. Every once in a while, if I really need like to pop like a opaque thing, I'll just do like normal acrylic. Yeah, this was it was based on that original sketch that I did like in 2013 for it was like that Month of Love challenge.
Okay.
It was like love at first sight, like whatever you come up with. So it was that first sketch of him with the banana. And then I just kind of built it into a full image.
It was great.
Yeah, this was I took Smart School just to get some direction into making stuff that would be good for Magic and D&D. Mainly because I figure out a lot of the time I can do stuff for these companies. I just don't know what they're looking for, so I need a little hand holding to point me in the right direction. And
sure.
Yeah, so it was nice doing it. Still waiting on those phone calls, but
it'll happen. I waited forever. Oh, this is great.
Yeah, it's weird. I haven't ever so much of my stuff. I feel like I'll end up needing like a reason to do it. Like I need a clever idea or like a cute, I think, and then like just a guy looking badass was like new for me. Just I don't know, but it was really it's fun doing all this research. It's just new.
I like this one right here, bottom right. That's cool.
The really shiny one, yeah.
Yeah, that's Paladin for sure. These are great.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I should do some more.
I would do the rest of the D&D classes.
Definitely.
Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, this is cool too.
Yeah, and this one I had to do in a week because essentially I was with Scott Fisher and he was like, "You haven't done anything like massive." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, I can do that to you. Whenever I get
they're such a pleasure. Like it's stuff that like I always admired Magic, but I was always doing like children's stuff or quick business ideas for the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah.
And
have you sent this stuff in? Like this feels like
I sent this stuff in like 6 times.
Oh, okay. It just has to land on the right faces.
For for like the editorial stuff, have you ever tried to inject like more fantasy stuff within it? Like it kind of like that just triggered in my mind.
No,
do you know the artist Sam Bosma?
Oh yeah, I love his work. Yeah, whenever I can. A lot of the times I'm kind of hamstrung either by the content or how literal the editorial board is. Like, I used to do a lot of stuff for Scientific American, and me and Mike Marak, the art director, always kind of complain that like, yeah, they really just want it to look exactly like what it says in the article, and I'm like, nothing clever.
That's like I remember like one of my first freelance jobs I got when I was in college was doing like ink drawings for the Dummies Guides books or whatever. Right?
Nice.
Yeah, and I remember I did one about like retirement investing or whatever, and my initial like pitch I had to them was like, okay, like what if I just do like all dinosaurs on it? Kind of thing. Like it makes sense, like, oh, your old age or whatever, so you're a dinosaur and stuff, and like the art director loved it, but then she had to run it up to like the people, like I guess the rest of the publishing book, and they were like, no, can it just be like a regular old guy and he's like counting his pennies or whatever? And I'm like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah, my very first client was AARP. Yeah, and the guy wrote in his email is like, just so you know, this goes out to I don't know how many million people, but we have the largest circulation of any publication in America. Like, oh, thanks, no pressure at all.
Thanks. Did you do stuff on D&D, or is this just your D&D sample?
This is another thing. I took Scott Fisher's D&D and Magic class because I was just like, it was when I was in that period of like, I don't know what the hell to paint. I don't even know what I like to paint. So like, I had a lot of time. So I was like, I'll double up. I'll do as many of these as I can. That's a bag of rotting.
After you.
Instead of a bag of holding, it's a bag of rotting. Anything you put in there will decay. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
You must have been in there after me because those are the classes I've been taking for the last like.
Yeah, it was
6 years.
Yeah, it was last fall, I think.
Oh, wait a minute! I was
fall 24.
Were you in the class with me? I must have been auditing that class.
I feel like you would remember it.
I would. Oh, you took the one during the day with the. I was in the Wednesday night classes.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was in the Wednesday during the day, yeah.
Okay, that makes. I was like, why wouldn't I remember you being in class with me?
So, do you primarily work in Photoshop, or because like I think you mentioned that you used Procreate for the animation stuff here and there, like or like you kind of split it?
I use Procreate maybe 5 times total. I like having I don't like having to go back to the menu over and over, and I don't have one of those little shortcut things. But I have a Cintiq, and I use Photoshop for 90% of.
Yeah.
I haven't programmed anything with my Cintiq. Everything's still keyboard shortcuts for me.
Oh yeah. No, with the Cintiq buttons, I don't do anything with them. It's all keyboard shortcuts.
I have a remote with mine, and everyone's just program the remote. I'm like, I don't really.
You don't really need it if you're used to the other way.
Yeah.
And now,
I'm keyboard shortcuts.
I'm like I now have like 3 Cintiqs, 2 travel ones, and 1 like big honker for working at home.
Do you have one of the Move Inks or the new ones?
I do have one of the Move Inks. It's kind of cool. You don't need an extra plug.
Tyler Jacobson was telling us about that when he was on here, and I'm like curious about.
Oh yeah, he wasn't he? Because it's like a iPad, but then you can plug it in and have it be like an impromptu sync.
Yeah, and it just works off the power from your laptop too. You don't need a second plug. The only problem is that you have to kind of move around. Like the resolution is so tight on the small screen, you kind of have to manage that a little bit. But I did some animation work on it that it like ended up saving me. I was like doing it over Christmas break. It was fun.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, I'm curious about because I want like a travel setup. You know, I have an iPad. I try to do Procreate, but I'm not good at Procreate.
I prefer
Procreate's hard.
I prefer
at least for me.
The Cintiq 16-inch Pro. That's my preferred travel one. Because you can throw it into a backpack. The only problem is you need a second plug. That's all.
Yeah, sure. You got to plug it in, which is not a big deal.
So I knew Tyler Jacobson when he was fresh out of school because I was Richard Solomon's assistant. And he picked him up like at like a portfolio day at his college. So like I knew him when he was like fresh and baby face before he was getting like consistent, magic. And
oh man, he's on everything. Yeah.
Oh no, now he's like a goddamn superstar.
Yeah. Super humble though.
Oh, he's the nicest. Yeah. These were fun. I thought these were supposed to be 3 covers and interiors for like a sci-fi middle grade series.
Yeah.
And then I realized after I handed all in that it was just a director found me on Behance. The only job I ever got from Behance.
Oh my gosh.
And it's basically concept art for a movie he was pitching. A guy named Walt Becker. He did Old Hogs. He's not a good director.
Oh, I remember that movie. That was a weird movie.
Oh my god. Yeah, like
good,
that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Why the only this movie?
yeah, exactly. It never came out. But these got into Society of Illustrators, which is nice.
Oh,
it was
cool. Cool.
Some of the zombie book stuff got in. It was the only one time I ever got into the SOI. And these are, I did a bunch of Sanderson stuff.
I don't even know he had a book called Alcatraz versus the Evil Library.
Neither did I. And it was weird because I was in my studio listening to Warbreaker when I got an email from my rep asking if I wanted to do a Sanderson series. And I was like, well, yeah.
I'm hoping it's Mistborn.
Yeah, right. Well, this one's like slapstick comedy aimed at like middle grade YA. So it's like way up my alley. I did the first 2 covers and they told me that I'm off the book series because like the author loved it, the editor liked it, the art director liked it, sales liked it, but marketing didn't like it. So they threw it to a guy. They threw it to the guy, I guess, who did some Artemis Finch, is it?
Artemis Fowl.
Artemis Fowl. And I guess they put him through the ringer and like made him do a ton of sketches. And then when he made a final, it was gorgeous. But like, I think I agree with Sanderson. He's like, they looked at it like, yeah, it's nice, but like, that's not the book. Go get that first guy. So like Sanderson, I went to Spectrum Fantastic Art Live. Yeah. And as I'm getting in, I'm walking into some presentation and Dan DeSantis was walking in. I was like, hey, do you want to go have dinner with Brandon Sanderson? I was like, well, yeah. And then as I go with him, I meet Sanderson and he's like, oh, you're that guy? Yeah, you're going to get a call on Thursday. You got that series back.
That's funny.
And I think since then, Justin Gerard has done it and is actually selling. So that's how that story ended.
Oh, well. Yeah.
These are fun. I had a whole chunk of my career is scared children in the lower right-hand corner of a cover. So yeah, my Google searches were bad. Handsome boy, scared and wet.
Oh my god.
They were fun though.
This girl's looking at like her iPad or something while she's running.
Yeah. So they're sent back in time to take pictures of things that don't have pictures. So they have like modern technology, but they're at the Gettysburg Address or the Hamilton duel.
Risky.
And they couldn't show.
They're like, let's send the kids.
Right. So this is when I started getting animation. This is it's weird. I didn't design, I don't think, any of these people, but 2 other artists made the background and then set up the characters, and I went there and just rendered the lighting on them.
Oh, really? Okay.
Which was a job they needed. Yeah, they just need someone who could paint to make it look a little bit better. And then the same thing with those. I would just go in here and I would take these flat colored things and try to match the lighting to everything.
Yeah, man, I remember this thing from the first go.
Oh, and there's the first gross up down there.
There it is.
They're gonna have it so
yes.
So the bottom part of the drool was on a layer, and they would just stretch it down. They didn't go for
it. They didn't go for it.
Yeah, and then this is like basically just some stuff I did for an advertising studio that they every once in a while they would get like these kind of like PSA type gigs. This is something about God, I don't remember what they were about. They just like give me like a line art thing, and I would just develop the background to match a style.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Like, it's another thing that's kind of exciting where I have to kind of reverse engineer how the first guy did this piece using the brushes he gave me, and make it look like I've been doing it the whole time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That seems a little stressful.
I mean, it could be, but like most of the time they're paying you so well that I'm just like, oh, sure.
Got this.
Yeah.
I like this, like the graininess or the texture on these things here.
Yeah, I mean, they always try to go for, you know, something that looks super interesting. So I'm always happy to try to get as close as I can. There's another one. There's a movie directed by Frank Oz. That's about like it's a magician show that was in New York, and then they made a movie out of it. And there's 3 sections of animation about first one's about a guy who keeps playing Russian roulette, and he keeps taking bullets or keeps adding bullets to the gun. It's a really dark story. People keep betting on it.
Huh.
And like we're trying to figure out the style. So I did all these different versions of a guy blowing his brains out, and everyone's asking me if I was okay because they just see like this screen on my computer. Yeah. I don't know if you guys know Danny Schwartz, but he helped on that too. I think we actually made it. Yeah. I was talking with Danny like how much I like doing like stuff like this because like I've talked at a bunch of schools. I've been on a couple interviews, and I was like, it's always interesting to see like your friends do it because like you get to learn more about your friends and their journey. And I figure most artists have an interesting journey. And Danny's just like, yes, Scott gave me my career because basically I gave him a couple Magic art directors' email addresses, and he instantly started getting work. I never did. And then I also got him on Cartoon President season 2, and he like worked for the next 6 years, and apparently like got like a house for his family off of it. It's like,
oh, okay, damn,
nice.
I gave you a career. That's cool.
Hang on, I'm going to share your website too. So hopefully it comes back to you at some point. Oh, I got to do this presenting. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. So here's my editorial stuff.
Just click it. Yeah.
Yeah. So have you guys done much editorial work?
No. I have not. I primarily have done like advertising stuff for TV and film.
Okay. So the more I learn about illustration, the more I realize just like you're just trying to solve whoever's problem. So like a lot of editorial is like make an article look interesting to read in some way, or do a clever way of showing someone's likeness. So that's what these are. Like that's Linda Yaccarino. She was the acting CEO of X after Elon bought it, and like it just started tanking. So that's her. Like everything's fine.
Wow, yeah,
it's, like, on fire.
Jesus,
yeah,
I forgot about that person.
Well, I think she's been gone for a year. That's the guy who was trying to revamp Netflix. I forget his name. Oh, Scott Stuber.
Scott Stuber.
Yeah. There's another Scientific American, just antibiotics and livestock. Yeah. So yeah, and the big thing here is like when I started or right out of school, I worked for Peter DeSev and Steve Brodner. We're both like doing, you know, bread and butter, either animation or editorial work. And they're just like, you know, they're going to come to you for your ideas much more than your skill. So like it kind of put something in me. It's like, I need to have good ideas. So people come to me for how I think before like, cause like when I was starting, my skills were, you know, okay, but I wasn't going to blow anyone out of the water with like, oh, it's so beautiful. So I was like, all right, now I got to figure out how to think well and show people, you know, have something read instantly.
Yeah.
When you're flipping through a magazine.
I think that's like where I'm struggling nowadays with it. Cause like I've focused so much on trying to get better skill wise, technique wise, that now like I've hit a point where I'm like, well, like I gotta have something more interesting to say with it than just here it is or whatever.
I think it could be why I'm not as productive as I would like to be, because like if I don't think the piece is really worth painting, I just won't paint it unless I really, you know, just doing it for the love. But anything that I feel like I'm going to have to spend hours on, like I'm going to have to love it and think it's worthwhile to do.
Right.
This one was like, it's like 20 horses, and it was due in like a day and a half. So I did them all separate.
God.
For $1,000. I was like, woof.
Bro, that centaur I drew took me like almost a year to finish. Because I could not draw the horse right for the life of me.
Horses are bitches, man.
Yeah.
That was something about like how your office chair is killing you.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot more blood, and they had me take it out. This is something about net neutrality, and they wanted to look like it's on the dating game. All right.
Okay.
There's something where like there's like a rule that you have to test on both male and female mice, and it was like an opinion piece on like why that's not necessary. Scientific American has very interesting editorial.
Yeah, really. Huh.
And it's just unlucky Seattle Mariners.
Huh.
These are like cool, like
the dangers of your cell phone or something like that. I forget exactly what it was about.
Disturbing new tech. Yeah. Everyone's always saying how it's gonna feed through you.
Oh yeah, as soon as you buy your phone, it's out of date.
Yep. It's like buying a car.
Yeah. Oh man, the American History was fun. I didn't know anything about the magazine, but they always gave me like, just draw this guy looking crazy. And they had me do one of Gaddafi, but like posing like he's Porky Pig at the end of a movie.
Like, yeah.
Oh man. So when you're developing your picture idea, then like, do you stay primarily to thumbnails, or do you do like you know how like Sterling Hunley does like the word lists and all that? I think like a few other people do that as well.
Yeah,
I like a mix.
I do a mix. I use his thing a lot. I'm not nearly as methodical as he is, but it is a good way to get started of just thinking like visual cues to match with text. But a lot of it is like just sitting with an idea and just, I'll be alone in my studio with just like instrumental music playing for a couple hours until I get, 3 vaguely doable ideas that are worth, presenting to someone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in Scott's class, he always taught us to do like thumbs and then do silhouettes.
Yeah. What's that app he uses? Alchemy.
Yeah, it's called Webcamy now.
Oh, Webcamy. Yeah, I love that because like it's just it kind of gets you out of the way you draw, and thinking in like I don't know, making a mess and then finding something in it. I've always found really helpful, and I kind of like forces you to do that.
I keep every time he mentions that, so I'm gonna stop sharing this. Unless there's something specific you want me to show off real quick.
I think the book covers. And go to the top. Yeah, this is all the book picture books.
Yeah, these are picture books.
Book covers section to the left. Top left.
Oh, sorry.
Left of animation. There you go. Here it is. Yeah. This probably has more impressive looking things, but yeah. There's a point where like middle grade book covers were my bread and butter for a little while. And they let me do interiors, which were really fun too. This is a monster.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, I noticed like some of them, I think it was like a lunch lady one where she turns into like a monster or something.
Oh,
was
yeah,
it like a lenticular cover, or like what was the plan for that?
Yeah, it was actually a lenticular cover. There was a point where I was doing stuff for Tor.com, which I think they renamed Reactor Magazine poorly. Basically because I was friends with Irene Gallo, I was just like, oh man, I want to do stuff for her. And before I had the skills to actually do any book covers, I would just picture like, oh, this holiday's coming up, and I would do these rollover illustrations where it would be like, I guess the most famous one is like a kid with Santa with a kid on his lap, and then you put the cursor over and you get a different image, and it would be Cthulhu in the same colors, and the kid looks scared. And so like I did that. They made a Christmas card out of that one. And then 2 years later, they sent me a royalty check for $2.18. I really killed it. But like
$2.
I did one for like New Year's, and it was like old man, old man time, and he like pushes across his sash saying 2010, and it's like a Quado baby with a glass of champagne.
Amazing.
There's one with it was like a Rococo style like romance thing where the guy chasing a woman, and then when you click over it, it's like God, what is it? Wizard of Oz, or like Dorothy getting chased by flying monkeys.
Oh no!
Instead of the Cupids. So like it was weird. I was like oddly suited to do those covers that had 2 images.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and that's the one that got me a medal the first time I entered Spectrum, and it really skewed how hard it is to get into that, or back then when it existed, because I don't think I got in the next 2 years.
I never got in. I applied a bunch.
I mean, I got in a bunch, but it was like the first time I got in, I got like a silver medal, and I was like, "Oh man, this is awesome!" And then like got rejected the next 2 years.
Happens.
Yeah, but I'm still proud of that one. That one's pure watercolor. So,
wait, really? Hold on, Alan. Can you go back to it?
Yeah.
No, I was just
that's pure watercolor. Really? How big was it? Do you know?
It was basically like 11 by 11. Not very big.
Oh wow!
I would just punish the paper into submission. It's
dude, I would not have guessed watercolor on that.
Yeah, I mean, when I moved on to ink, I got sick of watercolor because basically building up a value, the way I work is like multiple layers, and like all that dark stuff. If you make a mistake of trying to like push that whole area back with one wash, you might reactivate all that black stuff and just smear mess all over the place. Where like acrylic ink, you can hit that value instantly and it'll just stay put once it dries. And I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. But it makes it so you're kind of walking a tightrope the whole time. It's even less forgiving than watercolor. And that's kind of why I'm more into like the acrylic ink, and I'll take as far as I can go and then bring in opaque acrylic and then water, and sometimes a colored pencil, just to see if I can, fix things or enhance things.
Interesting.
Yeah. Do you work on a cold press then, like cold press watercolor paper?
Hot press arches, the pink pad arches.
Oh, okay, yeah, because like I hate the paper texture on cold press, so that's like everything that's sold for watercolor.
Same, and I'm also now to the point where like I hate when I use cold press every once in a while. I hate that it stays active so long because I'm still used to moving so quickly on hot press that like it bugs me when it's more active.
Oh yeah, hold on.
I didn't know any of this stuff about hot press and cold press, so I started doing some traditional stuff, and everybody immediately was like, "You should be using hot press. Why did you buy cold press?" I'm like,
"Oh yeah, I had
no idea."
You talk to someone like Tony Palumbo, and he did like that series of nudes in gouache, and they're like stunning. And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know anyone who would ever want to use cold or hot press." And I'm like, I mean, everything I've ever done.
Everybody else,
me, absolutely. That's like why I love this sketchbook, this Strathmore Toad Media, because it's like, what weight is it? It's 184 pound paper, so it's like fairly thick,
pretty big, yeah.
Paper, but it's also like really smooth, like super smooth, and it's great. Like I've been doing like little like gouache studies and stuff within it.
Great. Right now. I have a.
But yeah, like it's great for this kind of stuff. Like I've been using this for a lot of like watercolor gouache things, whatever.
I love that.
Yeah, no, these are great. I've been wanting, like, if Strathmore made a white version, I'd be over the moon, because then I would have everything I need. They make these in a tan and gray, but I don't think they make a white one that's like this.
So Strathmore made. I used to go to, or I still go to this retreat where I met Columbos. Now it's in Glassburn and in Fogleville, Pennsylvania. It used to be at Racebrook in Massachusetts. Basically, because I was working for Richard Solomon, he heard about Greg Manchester being invited to this thing. And it was like Greg, Boris and Julie, Dan DeSantos, Rebecca Gay, Scott Fisher. They all just like got a barn with like an inn attached to it in the Berkshires. And Richard was just like, "Hey, you should ask about that." And I'm like, "Okay." And so Greg was like, "Oh yeah, you'd have fun if you came." And he's like, "Just email this guy named Dan." Like, I don't know who Dan is. And so I emailed Dan DeSantos and ended up going and meeting the nicest, most talented people you ever met. But every year they would kind of switch out people. So Justin Gerard came one year, and I'm pretty sure, I'm 90% sure it was him. He gave me, he's like, "Hey, Strathmore sent me these. I don't like them. Do you want this?" And he gave me these. It was like an illustration board for wet media. Okay. And I was like, "Okay, cool." And I never touched it for maybe 10 years until right after my show got canceled. And I was like, "I'm going to try this." And I love it. And it's discontinued.
Of course.
Oh no!
Yeah, so all those dark animals. That's because I was just saying how much abuse is there, and it could take anything you throw at it.
Yeah,
and, you got those amazing results, and I was like, "Oh, now," and they don't make it at all. I even contacted their brand manager, and I was like, "Please tell me." Maybe "No, we don't."
Oh man, I've been meaning to
somewhere.
Yeah, I've been meaning to
out of school stores. The art stores and universities. I've looked on eBay. I think I've gotten the last couple pieces that are available on the internet.
That's God, I've been meaning to try out Strathmore's 500 series illustration board because I heard it's I think it's cotton all the way through or something compared to how Crescent is.
I think I have that. It's just the mixed media board, but it's
I think so. Yeah,
it's super heavyweight. Yeah, I like it. It's not quite what the other one was, and then the sizing or the cotton is slightly different.
Right now I've been using this. My local art store doesn't carry that, so I've been using this I forget how much ply it is for Bristol, but it's fairly thick ply Bristol, and I've been using that lately, and it's good for the most part. But I just finished this book cover, and I had it for what it was, I was I need to work a little bit larger. So I ended up working 18 by 27 on it. And that was large enough where it was, doing the buckling thing afterwards.
Yeah.
And so
even with heavyweight board?
Yeah, even with the heavyweight board. I had it stapled down and everything. And I thought it was going to be fine. But just the size of it was enough that it started to buckle. So then afterwards I was chasing it, trying all sorts of crazy crap. I tried weighing it down. I tried the worst thing was I tried doing an iron on the back of it to try and smooth it out, and that it smoothed out the big wrinkles. Oh, it was super. It kind of fucked it up. But I scanned it beforehand, so I was like, okay, if I fuck it up, at least I have it. It removed all the big wavy ones, then introduced all these fine wrinkles in the paper. I was like, oh shit.
Did you soak it at all before you stretched it?
That's what I should have done.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
I feel I'm still refining that because I said I work on that 95 pound the
yeah,
and that stuff I'll be really happy with something I've finished and it's really elaborate, and then when you cut it out, it's this flimsy piece of tissue. They're here, this is expensive, and you're it's convincing someone that this piece of thin paper is worth something. You gotta put that in a frame. But if you soak it and really stretch it and keep it, and it dries, even as it dries, it shrinks, so it pulls itself like a drum.
Yeah,
that probably would help.
Yeah, it's as soon as I took it off the support, I was like, shit. Yeah. I even told my wife, I was like, I should have done this, but I didn't because I worked smaller, and before it's never been a big issue 12 by 18 or smaller. It's just as soon as I got outside of 12 by 18, that's when that issue actually became a thing.
So is it 12 by 18 because you're printing it? Because that's why I stick to around that size. My printing is 13 by however long. But
I think it's I think it's because so I first got started in comics, and so it's roughly 11 by 17 or whatever, 10 by 15, that kind of working size. And then just over the years, it kind of massaged into that size for me, 12 by 18, and I just kind of stuck to that. The printing, was kind of like an afterthought, where it's like, oh, I could just print for this now, like at that size and stuff, like it'd be fine. And I've kind of used it for that here and there. I don't use it that much.
I print mainly because it's like for speed, and 90% of my work, it doesn't have to be that big. But there was a point, like when you're looking at those Brandon Sanderson covers, where it's a wraparound plus dust flaps, and there has to be 12 recognizable heads. So when you're designing it, like those heads, if you print, 13 by 19,
it's tiny. It's too tiny.
Like that big. So I would jump up to the largest piece I could find, like 18 by 24. And it was back when I was living in Brooklyn. I would just bug Donato because I knew he had like a giant printer. Just like take an outing, like, hey man, here's a zip drive, and he would just like humor me for one print. I'm like, all right, see you later. But like those were a bit because like you have to get a huge board to put it on. You have to soak it and then do it. And if you screw up, then it's such a pain in the ass.
The appeal of like printing out, like I like it in my head, and then every time I print it out, excuse me, every time I print it out, I look at it, I'm like, the drawing's not as good as I hope it would be. it looked better digitally, and then now it's printed out, it's like, I see a bunch of stuff, and I end up like just redrawing half of it anyway.
Well, I mean, I feel like you have to do that no matter what, but like at least I feel like when you do like like a carbon transfer, and you trace it, you're taking out so much life to get the shapes right. And like I'm doing a lot more because I'm working on heavier board that I can't put into the printer. And I'm like, so it's cool. I'm happy to draw this again, and like getting into that mindset where I was far too influenced by Peter DeSev in the beginning of my career because
he prints out, doesn't he? And then
he used to have a really elaborate process where he would do a sketch to the point where he liked it on millions of pieces of tracing paper, then he would turn it over, trace it again, and then burnish it onto a piece of paper.
That's like that's like how he did it in Step by Step, I think, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
That process. Yeah,
and it was all so he could keep the life, like all the energy of a sketch.
Yeah.
But now he'll just do that, scan it, fix it a little bit digitally, and then just print it, and it's all there. He figured the same thing I did. Yeah.
I gotta, you know what, that's probably what it is because like I tend to like, if I want to do it that way, what I end up doing is like I'll end up developing it like digitally thumbnail, and then I'll do like a digital drawing, and then I print that out, and it's like I feel probably what I should be doing is like actually doing the physical drawing, because then I'll like it, scan it like you said, and then print it out that way.
And what I've done for some of the more like complex stuff is like I'll do the rough thumbnail that has a lot of energy and it's all possibilities and potential.
Everything looks good.
Yeah, because it's all blur if you squint.
Yeah.
And I'll start developing on my computer, and I'll get to a point where I'm like, all right, this is still kind of messy, but it's almost all there. I'll print that out really ghosted on like tracing paper, and then put a tracing paper over it, and like do another rough drawing over it, and like all of a sudden you have way more information. Bring that into Photoshop and refine that, and all of a sudden you're already like 3 steps above, and everything looks much nicer.
It was, yeah.
And then with the way I work is like I'll get to the point where like it looks like almost finished, just in grayscale or whatever, and then I'll ghost that and just do like a really tight drawing. So whatever, the only thing that's left on my board when I'm printing it is just all the most important lines, and no grayscale, nothing, and it's just like, okay, I have the structure. All I have to do is execute it.
Yeah.
Then I can put on a movie and just be like zoned out for a day and a half.
I didn't think about printing it out, man. I've been transferring it with graphite.
It depends how large you're going. Like
I'm not doing 18 by 24. I'll tell you that.
Exactly.
13 by 19 is like the max size you could do for like most home printers.
It's 13 by however long your paper is. So you can do 13 by 30 if you wanted, but like you can have a strip.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, this is true.
Though. And I had a job that ended up being a scam that our good friend Jeremy Wilson sent to me and Elliot Lang. Be like, are you guys interested in this? I don't have time. 3 professionals saw it and like, this looks legit. And they're like, Scott, it's probably best for you, because it was like children's stuff for like a school. And it was like 12 posters, and it was gonna be like something like 15 grand total. I'm like, it's not much per, but like I'd rather have work than that. it was just crowd scenes of school stuff. And like I'm thinking ahead because like they had a deadline already, so I'm like calling printers around Denver, and I'm bringing them like giant pieces because I don't have Donato in my back pocket anymore. And so I ended up spending like $150 to get 2 giant printers, giant prints. And then they're like, "Hey man, we sent the check. Let me know if you're having trouble getting it." And
oh no!
And they sent a tracking number, and I check it. And I'm like, "This went somewhere in Georgia, and I don't think you ever asked for my address."
Oh no!
And then like they're like, "Oh, we'll look into that." And then like I realized there's no phone number on anything. There's just emails. And then like, but I looked at like it was a school district, and so I looked at the school district's website, and I found the person exists. I was like, I'll just give her a call. So I called her on a weekend. I'm like, hey, just want to know, like, you didn't ask for my address, but like, here's it is, and let me know if you have any questions. And then the Monday, she's like, hey, yeah, you're like one of 40 people. Like, there is no illustration job. I don't know what this is. And I have no idea what their goal was because they never asked for any banking information. They just made me like do a painting and a bunch of sketches for free that are not good. It was all stuff done under duress.
Did you send it to them, or that you just did it and they're just whatever?
I did a JPEG. Like I sent them a JPEG, and like this looks great. They never had any revisions for me, which should have been a red flag.
Yeah.
It was bizarre.
That one is. I bet you it shows up somewhere at some point in your life.
Yeah, but I was like, what is this? Like, I hear, they're going to use this blackmail of like kids, mediocrely painted doing science experiments in a classroom. I'm like, okay, hold that against
me.
So
that lady was getting phone calls from different artists who are like, hey.
Apparently she had like 30 emails or more.
Oh, man, that poor woman.
I know.
That sucks.
Or voicemails, yeah.
Or it was actually her, and she's just like, "Oh, I keep getting these emails."
Yeah, power trip.
I can't believe all these guys fell for it.
And on top of that, and then during the middle of it, I got a text from a California area code where it was based, just saying, "Hey, man, just want to know if you need anything for it." I'm like, "No, I think I'm all set. I need some directions on this." And he's like, "Okay, I'll get back to you." And then when I was like, basically, I think they realized I realized, and they stopped replying to my emails. So I just texted the guy. I'm like, so happy to be on this project, man. And
I hate
really appreciate this.
I've been getting a lot of I hate these kind of scams or scammers because I keep getting ones on my phone where they're like, hey, are we going to meet up this Friday? Blah, blah, blah. And they want you to be like, this is the wrong number,
Yeah.
Early today, I got one that said, hey, Lucas, just so you know, I'm going to make some tuna steaks or whatever if you want to come down when you're ready. And I looked, it's like a 604 number. So I looked it up. I'm like, that's Canada. That's Quebec. And I was just like, I'm not responding. It was very specific, right? And then so my cousin was like, you should just message back saying, I'm not Lucas, but that sounds delicious, right? And here, I'll just read it to you. I stopped responding.
I'm outside.
I was going to say...
So I said, I'm not Lucas, but that sounds delicious. And they said, oops, really sorry. I think I mixed up the numbers. Apologize for the mistake. Yeah. I hope I didn't spoil your evening. Cool. I don't respond to that because I'm just like, we're done. Yeah. Right. And then I get another message saying, thank you for being kind and polite. Just curious who I've reached out to, if I may ask. Well, this is Aliana from Los Angeles. And I'm like, this is a number from Canada. So I ignore that too. And I'm about to block it. And I get another message that says, you seem busy, and I understand. Huh? No, it's not a picture.
I was going to say, the picture thing always happens within that.
There's a whole scam bait Reddit where like it starts like that, and then like, here's a picture of me, and it's usually just like an Asian girl. Like,
oh yeah, so no pictures that come through, but either way, I like blocked the number because I was just like, I don't want this person to keep messaging me. Like that's annoying. But it's just like, I get one of these like I'm like. And I understand that people fall for this, right? And then they're like, it just basically tells them it's an active line.
Oh yeah.
My favorite scam is the one. It's either the one where they say like, oh, I need an illustration for like a wedding or something, or whatever bullshit. Like, I need an illustration.
There's the one. There's a famous one that I've gotten at least 7 times. Of like, I need an illustration for a presentation at a school. By the way, I'm hearing impaired.
That's that I was going to mention. Yes, it's like I'm hard.
You don't need your hearing to write this email.
Like, why include that? Like, just so you don't be on the phone.
Yeah, exactly. No,
that in case you try to call them, basically.
Me.
It's because in case you try to call them.
I think also every time I've uploaded something to ArtStation, within an hour,
oh yeah,
I like, hey, your artworks are very inspirational. How much for them? And if you talk to them at all, it's all some kind of NFT thing. And I'm like, if it's an NFT thing, go mint it yourself. I don't give a fuck. Take my JPEGs and have a blast. Like,
yeah.
I don't know why
I get that once. Hey, I'd like to work with you. I have this idea for, and I'm like, not interested.
I have an idea for an NFT. Like, isn't that dead now?
Like, apparently so.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. Yeah, no, I still get like ArtStation stuff left and right for that.
Yeah,
I've never posted anything there.
That's the thing. Like, I haven't posted there in a while, and I still get like random DMs and everything.
I have it only because if I add another section of my website, I was like, this is egregious. I'd have like 8 sections of my website. So I figured just have like something specific for fantasy and just full painting.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah, I'm about to revamp my whole website. I moved everything over to Shopify, and then like instead of spending money on I was paying Squarespace like $200 a year or something for a glorified portfolio page. I'm like, I don't need to do that. I can just put it all on Shopify, and that's also where the store is.
You can just do like a portfolio on Shopify, or you're selling every image.
I'm also selling all my artwork, right? It's all for my own series. So it's like, since I'm selling it and I'm making it, it's like I'm sending people to 2 spots each time. And I'm just like, they should always be in 1 spot.
It's so strange to like that's the opposite of what I've done up to this point in my career. Like,
sure,
here's a place where you can look at my work. I don't even have like a shopping button on my website, which is something that's my fault and I should do soon.
Yes.
But like selling my artwork at all was something that like never really occurred to me until like the last couple of years.
Yeah. No, same.
I mean, because I started out early on doing fan art, right? So a lot of my stuff was selling prints left and right. And then when I started doing Ancient One stuff, it was still prints for the longest time. And I can't remember how I moved into playmats. I think it was Gamer Mats, which is it's Alan Hockman. He's got a company here. They had approached me at a show and asked if I wanted to do play mats, and I started making some mats. And then I realized people like play mats, so they started moving. And then there's an artist
before you got magic work.
Oh yeah, I was doing I was. So magic was one of those things where like I just kept trying and then I stopped. I was just like, no one's gonna hire. Magic's never gonna hire me for this style. It's not gonna happen. And I stone cold just called it a day. Accepted the fact that it wasn't going to happen and focused on Ancient One stuff. And then Zach Stella was at IX. I think it was in 2019, I believe. Yeah, it was the year before the pandemic, I believe, or 2018 maybe. One of those two. It's like 6 years ago almost. And he was walking around. He was like, "Have you submitted this to Wizards? Have you considered submitting this to WotC?" And I said, "No, because I don't think." And he said, "Why not?" And I said, "I don't think this fits WotC's aesthetic." And then he was like, "I think it does." And I totally forgot he was an art director. So I was like,
"Oh yeah."
I literally was like, "Who are you?" You know. Well, I was just like, "Who are you?" And he's like, and then Alessandro was standing behind him, just like disappointed in me because I couldn't remember. I was also wildly drunk because Bud Cook kept bumming cokes.
It's a letdown, yeah.
I flat out said that to him. I said, "Listen, I'm really drunk right now because Bud's kept bumming cokes." I forgot Zach and I were friends on Facebook. Like I should have remembered his face. You know what I mean? But he was like, "I think you should submit it." And he didn't give me work right away. It took almost 5 years or so after that meeting. But he was basically like, just every time you do something. So I was still taking Scott's Smart School classes, right? So he's like, as you finish new pieces every session, send those to me. So that's what I started doing. Like every, what is that? Like every 14 weeks, every 4 to 5 months, I would send him new work, you know? And then while I was, like, again, I was like sending the workout and then just kind of moving back to my IP. Like I wasn't like, I got over the pining for magic work phase, I guess. Cause it's just like, you're never going to, like I tell people when they get work, it's just a client. Yeah. Like, so there's artists I know that are like consistently want to work for them.
There is something magical about that secondary market where like, 100%. I was sitting next to Danny Schwartz. He said he had a bad year, but he just, as soon as he opened up the doors, $1,500 worth of just signing.
Yes.
Like,
so
okay,
that's what I did like MagicCon Atlanta. I did MagicCon Atlanta 2 weeks after Dragon Con, right, in September, and I got invited in. I told them flat out, I'm like, I only have 2 cards out in Edge at this time. My other cards haven't released yet. And the lady running it, they were like, we all know you have more work coming out in about a year. We're not worried about that. Show up, do your thing. And I spent, so the bulk of my sales were ancient ones. Like 80% was ancient. But the rest of it was all people getting, like they put down the tape, you know, and I remember looking at my assistant and I was just like, ain't nobody going to get in line at my booth. And then the next morning there was a line just waiting there for me. So, but it's also like Magic fans, I feel like they love the game, they love the art, and then there's a lot of people that just collect. So you have 3, you're hitting 3 areas there, right? You're hitting the players who just love the cards, who like, I can use your card in my game somehow. I have one really popular card, Terramorphic Expanse, and then I have one that's nobody likes it, you know. I get a lot of, I love the art, but I hate this card. Perfect.
Dude, I went to your website, just be like, I should be at least a little bit more familiar with the guys I'm talking to, and like both your works. But like, I remember looking at your work like 10 years ago, and I'm like, oh shit, he's jumped quite a bit. So
I have indeed awesome. Leveled up. Thank you. Really appreciate cool that. Yeah. I mean, I give a lot of props to Scott. You know, like I've been like, you know, training with them for almost 7 years at this point.
Oh, nice.
You know, and there's a lot of like, you know, drawing is redrawing, and like the sketch. The one important lesson for me was like, so Andrew will help me with like, I used to use 3D models to build like my characters out, and but Scott would be like, you can do that to start, but your sketch still has to read at the end. Before, like I got into with Scott once in class because I was like, I'm just gonna slap a bunch of shapes on top of this. Who gives a fuck, right? If the sketch reads,
Scott gives a fuck.
He was like, yeah, Scott gives a fuck. And he was just like, he's like, just trust the process, right? And then but you have to do it, and then you see it, and then you're like, oh shit, he's right. Because once my sketches started reading better, the rest is me literally going in there and slapping. Like my Lich King was the last one I did.
All the hard work is in the sketch,
Correct. So I did the sketch of him sitting. I've never done a sitting pose. So he was like, we're going to do a sitting pose. I challenged myself on that one. Sitting poses are fucking hard, man. But once
all poses are pretty hard if you're doing them right.
True. Like I wanted something different and I did it. And then once the sketch read, then I just had to go in there and fill in, literally you're filling in the blanks with your shapes, you know? But so like
there's a handful of like things instructors have told me over the years that like, you know, repeat. And one of them are from Tim O'Brien. And he's just basically like, an art director should be able to like picture the final of your work before they even commission you.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Cause like they look at, you know, your body of work and like, okay, if he's going to do a pig, I can know what Alan's pig looks like next to Scott, next to Andrew. But also like the sketch, there shouldn't be any surprises. At least not in the art director's eyes, from sketch to final. And I've heard some things with like people who are a little bit more fine art. Like I know Rebecca Gay like will do the loosest thumbnail so she can discover stuff in the painting. But if you look at her work, you're going to get something gorgeous no matter what. You know, she's not going to trip over her 2 feet while she's executing it. But like most people, you do all the work there, and then you should just enjoy the execution of. I know how to paint.
I feel like that's what I kind of dropped the ball on those last 2 Magic cards I told you that the sketches were, in my opinion, great, and I should have just moved forward from there. But I thought I over embellished them. But like I still remember when I did my first 2 cards, Zach was my AD, and like when I turned in initially, I was trying to like hand draw like thumbnails. That's not my thumbnails are usually shapes, right? Like I just make all the colors. I know what colors I want. I try to put it all together.
Oh, you start with color in your thumbnails.
I do like grayscale in like alchemy or something, or just flat shapes. And then my brain wants to go to color right away. So I usually will fuck around with color. If I have an idea in my head where I'm like, I'm going to put this color here and that color there, I'm going to slap it down just to be like, this is what I'm thinking. Like, so when I turned in stuff, so initially I was hand drawing it. I was struggling with it. And I happen to be friends with Chris Ron now. So I showed him the sketches and I was like, I don't think this is my best work as far as thumbnails. And I'm worried that he's not going to be able to, Zach's going to like not like this. And he was like, how do you normally do your thumbnails? And I was like, shapes, just like my art. And he's like, turn it in with shapes. Yeah. And he like shared his like, dude, his thumbnails are like 90% paintings. They're done, you know.
I always admire that the people who are really good draftsmen, like they think so clearly. It's like watching Greg do a thumbnail. I'm like,
same.
How is it just coming out of your hand like that? I need to scribble and then find it later.
Because I remember I saw Donato's thumbnails once at IX, and they were just like my scribbles that I
started
with.
You're like,
and I was like, hey, right? I'm like, hey. Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm not so bad. I'm doing something right. But I turned in those sketches to Zach, and he was literally like, dude, these are like 75% done. Like, you know, and I'm just like, yeah, I need to do that for my brain to like piece it together. And it was great because he was able to like, I turned in 4. And later on, I learned throughout working that you don't really need to turn in 4. If you turn in like 1 really damn good one or like 2 like good one, like, and I did like 4 up of like the same scene with different things moved around. And, you know, artists I've talked to now are like, don't do that. Just kind of like, unless that next idea is different from the first idea, don't submit it. Right. And so I've gotten better at it, but I did that. He took a little bit from everything, and that's what turned into Lost in Space, essentially. My first card. The Terramorphic, though, almost broke my brain trying to figure out what to do. But it's cool. It's very different than doing your own thing, right? When you do your own thing, you kind of, there's really like no mistakes other than the ones you tell yourself you made, right? You're like, nah, that's not what I want to do. I need to do something different. But when you have these magic cards, or like I've done work for board games, you get prompts, and as long as you kind of stick to those prompts, you're good to go for the most part, depending on your art director.
If it's called out for you, the thing I kind of like about, you know, haven't done the magic card yet, but I've been given like actual prompts. I like that there's a problem-solving aspect to each one of them. That like that's up my alley. Like make this look interesting.
Yeah, I think when you get your first card, you're gonna cook it because you literally have like 6 weeks. It took a 6 or 7 week window.
It's like a lifetime.
I mean, you're telling us you did 21 horses or something,
and faster than me, and Elliot did like 9 in like a weekend or something.
Yeah, see, that's crazy town. Like I don't think I could. I think I would stress myself out if I worked that fast.
Yeah.
You know?
But do you want to hear the story about? Okay, this is what happened to me in when I thought I was maybe going to get a job from Wizards.
Sure.
I'm on a Discord with Danny Schwartz and Mike Burns and Deneen Wilkerson.
Yeah.
Basically, buddies just sharing stuff every once in a while. Danny was working on a magic card, and he got commissioned by someone at D&D to do like I think a half page and a couple spots.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I'd love to. And then they didn't get back to him for like 3 weeks. So he said yes to more magic cards. And the art director finally came back. He's like, oh, I'm all booked up now. But you know what? My friend Scott, he's very fast and really good.
Yeah.
And he replied, he's being onboarded right now, but so I can't hire him. And I'm like, oh, news to me. Right. So I emailed her, and she's like, yeah, I don't know who's onboarding you, so I can't help you. And that was over a year ago. So
did they send you an NDA to sign?
No one sent me anything, so I have no idea.
Did you check your spam?
I did. That's where the reply telling me that I was being onboarded was in my spam folder. So I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah, very weird. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I'm not worried about it. I'm doing fine, but it was really gratifying when I saw Zach last year. I was like, dude, look at my work again. And he's like, oh, I should have had you on Bloomborough because he saw my builder's piece. Yeah. I was like, well, that's gratifying. If late.
They're definitely going to do another. I would send Zach another email if I were you, because they'll definitely do another Bloomborough. And
there was one point
it's too popular not to do another set.
Yeah, there was one point where I was hanging out with like 6 people all drinking, and I realized like I was the only one who hadn't gotten a magic card in that thing, and they're all like, "Dude, you're better than me." And I'm like, "All right, I don't want to hear that," you know, like. I mean, and then I see like Mariah's work. She's like, they're still doing a lot of animals, and I'm like, come on, like,
yeah,
I could.
They got so. The thing with WotC is they have so many sets coming out. Like, you just have to like pinpoint where like. You know, my stuff worked great for Edge of Eternities because of sci-fi. So my first
definitely.
And then the second round of stuff I got is for a specific a type of card, which I'll tell you, I didn't think I'd get any more work for a while, and I got work, you know. And then the last 2 cards I botched. It's a specific set where I'm like, every time I try to get in that, they're not that bad. I'll show them to you later. They're like, I thought I did really good work on them, but they just weren't what the ADs wanted. So, you know, like, yeah, it's not what they were expecting. But like, I thought I did good work on them. It's just they were expecting something specific, and I gave them not that, you know. But you know, that's just you win some, you lose some. But one of the cards actually got cut, so it just was like gone. Like it's not even in the set anymore. So even if I had done the most amazing work on it, it would have gotten cut. So, you know, that happens a lot. So like, here's the thing, like what I've learned is these things happen all the time. People do cards, they get cut, they get put in something called a slosh pile. They may or may not get used. So it's like
Fisher was saying that they sat on one for like 20 years. They came out.
Scott's still got cards that they've not printed ever, and nobody knows what they look like because they're just that's the NDA, right? You can't share it. You know, there's artists who are working on. You know, who were working on all the, you know, they just announced the Marvel set, right? Last week, they were showing cards. Yeah. Those artists have been sitting on those cards for a minute. Like, and when I say a minute, I mean like 3 years, you know, like.
Wait, was it usually like a year and a half?
Depends on the set.
Depends on the set, right? Yeah.
Like my set was almost a year and I want to say it was about a year and a half. That's the other thing Zach told me. He said, the hard part isn't doing the work. The hard part's waiting for your card to come out, and you can't tell it. Like people would be like, "Oh, what's?" Because people kept guessing I was an Aether Drift, and I was like, "I'm not." Wouldn't I tell you if I was? Because they just said it. You know, like wouldn't I be excited? You know, like at MagicCon Atlanta, people kept asking. They announced Star Trek, so people were like, "You're on Star Trek next, right?" I'm like, "You would think I would be," you know.
It's like, boy, I
apparently
wish.
they had no
You're on Furby,
right? No, I did not get the Furby cards either. I don't think I'd want to do a Furby card. I don't know if I'd do it justice.
They're so weird and specific.
They'd be like very like blocky looking Furbies, you know. So
I was talking with like that group, Deneen, Mike, and Danny, and like they're kind of talking about how like some people feel like it's getting diluted with all the new IPs.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That is another conversation.
Like, if you got like this badass like dragon card, and then Sonic comes out with a hammer, you know, like you can't picture the two worlds lit, but like Kirby, it's just Kirby who happens to be breathing fire, you know, like okay. I was like, all right, yeah, that kind of works for me. It's when they're all cartooning and cute, but they're fighting an orc. I'm like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care that they're doing like I think the IP things like I got like the Lord of the Rings sets and I think it's one of their best IPs. Like if you're looking at the Universes Beyond stuff, the Lord of the Rings stuff is fucking amazing.
Oh,
the
sure,
cards are beautiful. The mechanics on the cards that you play are amazing. But like you know, people are like you know what I do think is being oversaturated a little bit. Like we have like Edge of Eternity is released at San Diego this year, right? And when they announced it, they also announced Spider-Man at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Like, and then so now I'm like, well, I didn't even get like 15 minutes in the light here before you guys announced the whole other set. You know what I mean? And then we were at MagicCon Atlanta, and the whole thing was like there was like a Daily Bugle. Is it called a Daily Bugle? Yeah, the Daily Bugle and all that. They had like a whole setup for it, and then like while people are playing Spider-Man, they're giving you like starter packs to play, like bringing in new fans and stuff. Then they announce all these other sets that are coming out, right? They announced like Star Trek, and they announced like I think there was 3 Universes Beyond or 4 Universes Beyond and 2 main sets announced, and you're like, what's fucking happening right now?
Much, yeah.
Right, and then literally a week after that event, they announced TMNT, which is so now you have 4 Universes Beyond sets I think coming out in 2026. And 2 main sets, and you're just like Lorwyn is one of them, right? It's all cool if you're a Magic player. I love the idea of it, but it's just like I'm scared that they're going to oversaturate it, and then I don't think people are ever going to lose interest in it because it's such a popular game. Mm-hmm. I think what's going to happen is people are going to have to figure out which set to spend their money on, and then we won't get more of like I'm definitely getting all the turtles. like
yeah, my buddy ended up my buddy who doesn't play Magic cards, but he heard they're doing the Final Fantasy VII, about like a year ago.
That's the most popular set.
Yeah, he went out there. He got two like, I don't know if they're gift packs or whatever. I was like, you should hold on to one and not open them because it'll go up in value. And like, he ended up like buying me dinner. Money. He's just like, yeah, man, I held on to it. It tripled in price, and I sold it, and now I'm going to Italy with my wife. So I'm like, okay.
Wow.
Final Fantasy is the Final Fantasy commander boxes. They're selling at like $80, I believe, which normally they sell for $50, and then now they're worth like $300, if not more, per box.
He got like
oh my god.
I think he got Barrett, Tifa, and Cloud, and like the best foil version was, all in like one set.
Oh,
like
shit! Okay,
and he's like, that's like $150 right there, right now. And it was like the week it came out, and I was like, okay, it's just gonna go in value.
Well, I mean, your friend is like also like a prime example of like, when Spider-Man came out, I said, they didn't like, Magic fans were like super salty, and I've said this before. They didn't design these like Final Fantasy, Spider-Man, Avatar, all these extra IPs are Lord of the Rings is in that mix. They are not originally designed for Magic fans to be like all hyped up to buy it. You will, there are Magic fans, but it's designed for players who are like, I don't know anything about Magic, but I know I like Spider-Man or I like Lord of the Rings.
However,
right,
I want to agree, but me and that same guy, we were going to go to the release thing at this game store, and they're going to do a draft, and we got like tickets to it or whatever.
Sure.
And they basically convinced us not to come in because we haven't been playing Magic, and the mechanics were so complex that like they basically said like,
so that's a bad hobby shop is what that is.
They're like, you guys can't sit together, and you'll make everyone mad because you don't know which cards are worth buying or which.
So that's a bad hobby shop.
That's what I thought. But apparently, they were packs, so maybe they don't need new guys.
That's just shit.
Like, why wouldn't you want? I don't understand any of the stuff on this card. And I used to play in 7th grade.
So that's where Spider-Man, I think, did a smart thing. They were handing out these, like these two San Diego. They're handing out these tuck packs basically, and there were 2 sets of 30 cards each. So if you got like the black deck, there was 30 black cards, which is Venom was the main character, and then there was either like a red or a white, any of the other colors. And the idea is, I can open up one of those packs, and you and I could play a short game of Magic right there.
That's awesome.
And they were running those at San Diego all day, and there was 5 packs, obviously 5 colors. Magic Con, and then like Sarah Finnegan and stuff. She was at the release in New York.
Yeah, she did little icons, right?
Yeah, and then she did all the land cards and stuff, right?
So cool,
but there were people waiting around, and then I think it was her that said it, that like a bulk of the people that she met at that event were Spider-Man fans who are not Magic fans who like Spider-Man. But what essentially you've done is you've pulled in people who are like, I don't know anything about this game, but I just want to try it out now.
Right? I mean,
it's my favorite character. Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, I think it's smart marketing wise. I just wonder at what level does like the corporate greed like turn people away? It seems like it's not going to happen because I think Magic is too strong.
I thought it was going to happen like 2, maybe 3 years ago, and it hasn't happened yet. So.
Yeah. No, maybe they're doing it fine. I don't know.
I mean, I still think they screwed up what they could have made with Spider-Man stuff. There's no commander decks. They could have easily made commander decks. If you keep screwing things like that up, like with the Turtles, there's only 1 commander deck, and I'm just like, okay, there's 1 commander deck with the 4 turtles, but why isn't there one with like the foot?
Oh yeah, real.
Like I don't understand why you're. Well, usually you get 3 or 4 precons per set, right? And they're specific to the set. Like Lord of the Rings had a Hobbit set. It had a Sauron. It had elves, and then it had the Riders of Rohan, which is like Eowyn.
Okay.
And they're 4 specific types of sets, but they were precons, so you just literally open them, sleeve them, play. Please sleeve your cards. Please sleeve your cards. Like,
yeah. Don't sleeve your cards.
I do not understand people who don't sleeve their cards. But like,
live dangerously.
Spider-Man did nothing, none of that. They were just like, it's fine. Nobody cares. It's like you could have had more, because now you're forcing player to build decks with those cards versus like, here's a deck. Like I was like, there's missed opportunities. Sinister 6 would have been easy. Spider-Man would have been easy. And then Turtles, whatever. I don't know what the weird. I would like to know what the reasoning is behind some of that, because it's like, are you're just leaving money on the table, essentially.
So. I did a book cover for a video game series that I realized I can't tell you what it is. And when I did it like last March, and I emailed like a month ago, when can I show this work? When's it coming out? And they're like, oh, it might never come out. Like,
oh, what the hell?
Because I guess like the rights between the video game publisher and the video game itself, or the book publisher, like whatever's happening is too complex. And like, I was ready to be like, oh man, I'm gonna have like 12 books in this series. Like, nope.
I mean, you never know. They might work out their differences, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, they're like, it might happen, but don't post anything until we tell you to. It's like, all right.
Oh my gosh.
That would annoy the hell out of me.
And it's like a very popular game with like children. Like when I talked at a high school, and it was a cover that I did like test illustrations for like a year before. And I was really happy with the test illustrations. So like I did this talk at a local high school. At one point, like 2 years ago, I was living like deep in the mountains at like a resort town in Colorado. So like everyone knew there was an illustrator in town. So I ended up talking to every school there. So I talked to the high school, and
that's cool though.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Like you could tell the high schoolers like half the audience was like half asleep, and I'm like, yeah, I did this for that, I did this. And then I got to that, I was like, yeah, and then I did these, and they're like, oh shit. I was like, oh, that's street cred all of a sudden. And and now I have no idea if anyone will ever see the light of day.
I mean, somebody's seen them, obviously, these high schoolers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're gonna. Yeah, I'm sure they really remembered my name.
Yeah.
Man.
No, they didn't. Sorry, man.
Those kind of things do suck. Where it's just you're excited for it to come out, and then it just disappears.
I think something similar happened with Sam Weber. He did a bunch of concept art for like those Snow White movies and like The Huntress or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? With the
live action ones.
Oh, the non-Disney ones, like The Huntress and The Winners.
Yeah, they're like grim, dark, Sleeping Beauty or whatever. And I guess whatever in a contract, he couldn't show anything. So he did like a couple months worth of like probably gorgeous work that no one will ever see.
Yeah, that's very, very similar to the contract I have right now with the Mint. Like, I out of all the things I've done for them, I can only show one right now because it's like publicly revealed.
Yeah, it's out, right?
Their thing is like you can't show any, and like you can't show any version of the drawing besides the drawing that got selected to become a coin. Like, so you can't even show so even like with the coin that gets selected, like you can't show like previous iterations of that coin itself. It can only be the final drawing. Yeah. I think a lot of it is part of it is like certain coins are in conjunction with like a third party group or whatever, like a Native American tribe or like a group that's doing a collaboration with them or whatever, and they're making like a commemorative coin or something like that. So I'm sure there's like some stuff within that. The main thing I think about it though is it's the Mint trying to prevent counterfeiting of their designs by third-party companies like Franklin Mint. Because apparently the Franklin Mint will do that. They'll just be like, "Oh, that's a cool old design that the Mint did." Just grab it. Yeah. So it's so weird. It's like technically, you know, like the government can't hold a copyright on things because it's the government or whatever. It has to that's like why all the NASA stuff it's all public domain stuff, right?
I did a picture book for astronauts, and I was like, what the hell? Like, it's all public domain. What the hell am I bringing to this?
Exactly. So like the same thing with like the Mint with their stuff. It's like we can't hold the copyright, but you have the copyright, and we can exercise the copyright on your behalf. So what they say is like, this is the funny thing is like, so they say like, well, what you do is you lease us the ability to enforce the copyright on your behalf for, I think they said it's like 76 years, 86 years, something like that.
Yeah. When stuff goes into public domain.
That's so stupid because like you could easily say, I don't want to give you the copyright, but then they just won't hire you, I guess.
That's true. And like at the end, they basically said like, listen, like, yeah, once, like you said, like at the end of that term, it automatically reverts back to me or whoever my descendants, if I'm not around or anything like that or something like that. But yeah, it's just really all it is the end. It's just them being able to go to someone like Franklin and be like, we just minted this coin. You can't mint this coin.
Yeah.
You freaking psychos.
I'm pretty sure every sample of my animation work on my website is not technically allowed to be on there because I'm supposed to ask permission from CBS.
Yeah, there a lot of.
I'm only supposed to show the stuff that made it to air.
Yeah,
but like they had a whole process where you're supposed to put like the timestamp of where it is in the show, and then send it to them.
Yeah,
and ask for permission, and they never respond. So I'm just like, I want more work.
Guys.
So here it is.
Yeah, I've had that with advertising too, where I'm like, I'm not sure if I should show this or not. And then eventually the movie came out. I was like, well, it doesn't really matter. It's like at this point, it's like out there in the public and stuff. And in some cases, like some of those studio or some of the advertising firms don't even exist anymore. Like they were like around for like 2 or 3 years, ran hot, and then broke apart or something.
Yep.
So who wrote? Yeah, like that's this like same question I have with like the board game work I did. When the company is dissolved and doesn't exist, do I get my rights back to that, or
it
like
depends? Like the short answer is probably no.
I just wonder who's going to come after you if the company who gives a crap doesn't exist.
Well, yeah, it got moved to a different company. I'm
if it just gets bought by another, yeah. That'd be more litigious.
But I was like, my contract states that company A owns the rights, but I have the rights to make prints and all that stuff. But if company A no longer exists and it got moved over to company B, their name's nowhere in the contract. So I'm like, can I do whatever I want? Or
so that is pretty much like the what happened with Alan Dean Foster, which you know who he is, yeah?
Yes.
I heard the name. I'm trying to remember.
So he's a writer, real famous for writing a bunch of novelizations of various things. And like the main one that this story pertains to is he wrote, if I remember right, he wrote the novelization for Splinters of the Mind's Eye, the Star Wars sequel that did not become the sequel. Empire Strikes Back became the sequel.
Gotcha.
But anyway, so he had a whole contract with Lucas Arts or Lucasfilm about saying like, oh, like here's my royalties for my books and everything that I've written and all that. That was all fine and on the table. And then Disney bought Lucasfilm. And then he noticed, he was like, hey, it's been like 2 years and or like several years. And like, Disney, you haven't sent me any royalties as outlined on my agreement here that I have with Lucasfilm, who you now own. So therefore you've taken their risk and everything. And if I remember, like Disney basically shot back and said like, well, basically they said like, we bought all the good stuff. We didn't take on the debt. Which is like, no, that's not how that works. You assume like everything when you buy a company.
We bought the profit.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. So we privatized the profit. We socialized the losses. So,
Jesus.
It's Disney for you.
Yeah. No, it was a whole thing. Like basically, basically like he had to, for as long as he was doing it like proper through the courts, he eventually just took like court of public opinion and be like, hey, I'm getting like screwed over here, guys. Can someone help me?
I mean, him and every Marvel artist who watches their creation.
Yeah, exactly.
Franchise, yeah.
Oh man, I was just reading this article last week about I forget her name. She's a creator of Miles Morales.
Miles Morales, yep.
And like how she was like, I don't get a dime from this.
Oh yeah,
like that's so stupid.
Those work for hire contracts, man, they're brutal.
Yeah, honestly, it's like the oh shit, why did the name just leave my mind? The Superman creators, Siegel and
Siegel
yeah,
Schuster.
yeah. Like, do you remember their not them themselves because they've been dead for a while, but it was their descendants had brought a lawsuit against WB and DC and all that regarding like the copyright of Superman and all that. And if that ruling on that lawsuit went the other way, it basically would have like for the better, but it would have fucked up the entire comics industry.
Yes.
Because everything was hinged on like if that ruling went the way of like, oh no, they do own Superman. Because it was like a whole weird loophole thing where it's like it was a whole weird loophole thing where it turned out like they might have actually owned Superman the entire time. It was just like DC was like allowed to print it or something, but like they retained it or whatever. So then it was a whole question of like, well, do they still own it, or is it DC at this point? And it was like eventually the judge ruled like, well, no, it's with DC and all that. But yeah, if it gone the other way, it would have been like, oh yeah, no, here's the line, start. There's a whole bunch of people that are going to line up now and like need their payoff.
The whole industry is like, I feel like there's like, I watched this documentary on it's called Batman and Bill Finger. You should watch it.
Oh yeah.
It's so good. And
took all the credit.
Yep. And then that dude who did the documentary helped his niece, I think, or the goddaughter is the last person left alive on that lineage. Like these got DC to court essentially.
Yeah. Not even blood.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's the goddaughter or the niece, but like she the guy doing the documentary was like she's the last remaining family member. She deserves the royalties from whatever, right? Because this guy helped create this. Essentially he created it. And then so now that's why when you watch the DC movies with Batman's and it says Batman created by Bob Kane and
Bill Finger, yeah.
Like so they got the rights, but I'm like basically on his deathbed, Bob Kane was like, yeah, he helped me create the character.
Yeah.
They gave him did they cut them a check or just get the name in front of a movie?
I think it's the name, as far as I know.
She gets royalties, I heard, but like I don't know what that cut
that's
is.
That's right? Like now like 80 years worth of royalties she's doing.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't think they backtracked anything.
Okay, yeah. Like retroactive. Holy shit.
It's like whatever's coming out now. Because like for years this dude denied, that he helped him create the character.
I love comics, but it is riddled with assholes. And
I'll tell you right now, if I was Bill Finger and Bob Kane did that to me, I would have put a hit out on him so fast.
There was I do remember like one of my old professors used to work for Marvel and all that. He was younger than what this story was, because this story is like back during like the 60s and 70s bullpen era of artists, like Jack Kirby and all that.
Yeah, they're actually in the room,
Yeah. So but basically like their paychecks they got basically had like a little like fine print on it saying like, by signing this, you sign away the rights to your character or whatever. It's kind of like you're fucked, because like if you don't sign it, then you literally don't get your paycheck that you were waiting for like that week or that every 2 weeks or whatever. It's like, what the hell? It wasn't like a overarching contract. It was literally just like, here's your pay stub for the month. By the by, you need to sign this to authorize it to get the money in your bank account. And also when you sign it, we get the rights to your character. It's like, oh,
right.
Okay, so you're just like that predatory. It always had been.
On a less grim note, have you guys ever worked in a bullpen type, like big studio where there's a bunch of other artists around?
I've only ever worked in a studio with roughly 10 to 11 artists total. But yeah, okay. That's been like my entire professional career.
Oh, cool. Okay. Because like I was gonna say, talking about the bullpen, like picturing like like I don't know, Steve Ditko and whoever else making comics in a room together. The one time, like when I got into animation, it was like 3 or 4 years of being in a room with like 20 other artists, and like just the design team. It was like being in art school, and then when you do like a review at the end of the day, everyone's awesome. It's like, it was so fun, like that kind of energy. Or like, especially being like 20 years of freelancing and just being in a corner of a living room or in a basement. and now you're around people who are wildly talented and have the same interests. It was super exciting. Missed that because all got shut down with the pandemic. And,
yeah.
Like you can do all online, but now.
All right. We're a little over time, so we should move on to the last part of this. I don't know if you have anything, Scott. I mentioned it to you earlier.
I got a couple.
You can go first if you want.
Oh, let's see then.
Like things I think cool,
Alan,
right?
make his
hang on a second.
Screen a little.
Let me make you bigger.
Yeah.
How do I do this?
I'm not sure if you've heard of Two Girls, One Cup, but it's awesome. There's a thing in Photoshop.
Hold on. I haven't figured out how to make you. How do I? Let me see here. Solo, press Shift 1. No.
See, like you're the solo right now, and then
if I do this, and
I don't know if I need to be front and center just to tell you about.
Oh, I think I know what to do.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I wasn't sure if you had anything or.
There we go.
I don't have any objects. Just
okay, gotcha.
So okay, there's one thing that's real quick that I'm surprised most people I've met in the arts don't know about this in Photoshop. Do you guys know how to use the tilde key to turn your brush into clear mode?
Oh yeah.
So many people don't know that, and it's such a huge time saver. It blows my mind.
Here's the thing, though. It's relatively recent. Like, only by Photoshop 2022, I want to say. 2023.
Okay. Okay. I don't know. But
it might be, like... Yeah, or God, just because, like, it's weird. I had an older version of Photoshop that was like behind like what my one was at work, and I use that feature a lot, like at work.
Yeah,
and I use it at home, and it was like, nope, screw you, I'm not doing it.
So if you're doing like really refined, what I use it a lot for, especially in animation, is like you have to have line work on top of a fill, and the line has to be real clean. So you'll make like a one line, and you have to refine it, and you have to keep going back to the E for eraser, back to B. Instead, you just keep tapping the tilde, and if you hold it down, it sets it to clear. So your brush becomes an eraser, and it keeps all the properties of that brush until you lift it up, and it goes back to being a normal brush.
Yeah,
such a time saver. And if you have it with textures, you can get crazy textures by tapping on and off. It's wildly useful.
Yeah, it's a freaking game changer.
So few people know about it, and it blows my mind how many people don't know about it. But yeah, play with it, Alan.
I'll give that a whirl next time I'm working.
To the left of the one key below escape.
I know where it is.
Yeah. And the other thing was just a podcast, If Books Could Kill, if you guys heard of that.
I haven't, but I like that title.
I'm going to write that down.
Yeah. So their main feed is they take like airport books that are super popular, like Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Like a John Grisham kind of thing.
No. More like self-help type shit.
Okay.
Yeah, like Rich Dad Poor Dad, stuff like that, and they basically debunk everything. The Secret, nice. Or they're basically like it's a journalist and a lawyer, and they're both funny, but they come with facts and receipts to just kind of be like, this is all bullshit. Right. And in their Patreon, they'll go deep into like this journalist is lazy. this guy who works for CBS News should not have this much power. It's great. I'm big into any podcast. It's like, well, actually, you're wrong, and like then they come with the same thing with like when I watch the news, it has to be delivered through a comedian because they have more fact checking than most news network, and they give it to you without making you sad.
Yeah,
except for John Oliver, he'll make me laugh, and then I'll be really sad at the end of the episode.
Yeah, Last Week Tonight is great.
Yep.
Sometimes he tackles stuff that's so bleak, though. I'm just like, oh.
Oh, I know.
A long time ago.
Andrew,
that and lemonparty.org, if you guys have heard of that.
Oh, Jesus.
Are you typing it, Alan?
What's that?
Are you typing it?
No, I'm not.
Oh my God.
I'm not putting that search into my bar. That will not go well. Andrew, you want to go next?
Yeah. You may have to do. Yeah, I was gonna say because like I have a pen and Yeah, we'll use a piece of paper because I don't think it'll show up. I've been collecting a lot of the like fountain pens and stuff lately. This is a relatively new one, but I really haven't used it a whole lot yet. I can't remember if I shared. I got this like a while back. We had a fountain pen show local around here that I went to, and I ended up getting this like fountain pen from 1937, and it has like a flex nib on it, so it's almost like it's like a fountain pen, but it's like has the flexibility of a crow quill.
Oh wow!
And it's it's amazing. I love it. It's like basically become my daily driver for a fountain pen. This one I got also like my brother-in-law got it for me for my birthday. It's called a Fude nib. It's a Japanese fountain pen nib. Yeah, where it's got like this. I don't know how well I can see
it. Right? It's like curled up.
Yeah, it curls up. I think that's supposed to be to. I
have one or two Fudes rolling around somewhere here.
So I'm actually curious because I really haven't used it yet. Like I know what it's originally supposed to be used for like writing the letter forms and everything more effectively, I guess, like that. But like, what do you use it for with drawing?
I mean, I've just kind of doodled in my sketchbook. I haven't done anything like elaborate with it. I just I like finding pens that have like kind of unexpected qualities to them. I haven't dug too deep. Now that I don't have a commute and I don't live in New York, like my sketchbook time is so limited. I used to have like such downtime built in just going places. So no, I mean, I play with it and I kind of like it, but I don't use it for any part of my process or anything. I just I'll throw it in my bag with a sketchbook and hope I have time to use it.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I haven't used it yet. I've been meaning to. I just haven't gotten around yet. There's another pen.
These guys. I don't know. You've seen these. They have a little loop on the end. I forget the name of them.
Oh yeah.
I forgot. A guy who does a lot of conventions. Dan DeSantos interviewed him, and I'm blanking on his name. But he recommended these on his website, and I am such a sucker for brush pens. And there was a brush pen on jetpens.com, which I'm assuming you guys are familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
The website you can't not go to and accidentally spend $70. There was a brush pen that was similar to it's a felt tip brush pen, and it was brown and really skinny. And it was $5 each and non-refillable, and they're my favorite pens, and they got discontinued. And this so far, the closest
all
one
your
I've
favorite
found.
things.
I know.
That's like I remember I got a part of the fountain pen stuff. I got a Kuretake fountain pen brush from them, where it's like actual like synthetic fibers for the pen tip. So not
fountain shape.
Yeah, fountain pen.
Oh, okay.
So it's neat. It's really neat. And I have like some like walnut fountain pen ink that runs through and stuff. I do like all these things. No, that sketchbook is not in here. Otherwise, I'll do like that with like fountain pen, and then do like one of those what's the water brush? Niji, I think it is. Like it's the one that's like kind of a clear blue body. Yeah. And I'll do that, and I'll like kind of do that, like use the water fountain pen ink as like a watercolor sort of thing. So it'll be like lay it down and then lay it brush it out that way and stuff. There's another. It's too far away for me to reach right now, but I have this other pen. It's a dip pen that I got. That's called the brand is Kakamori, I believe it is. But I've never seen a fountain pen or I've never seen a dip pen like this. The nib is basically round, and it comes to a point like that or whatever.
Okay.
And actually, you know what? Hold on, I will find it real quick. Alan, you can say your thing real quick.
Sure. So, I was basically going to talk about. I just invested in a Telugu Centauri carbon 3D printer. So I was going to show like some of the. I've been like spending all my time like printing like these cool like 3D. I don't know if that's going to show up.
No,
There you go.
Oh, is that with the finer layers?
So yeah, so you can see the bottom of this one's all jacked up, right? And then this one I used a 4mm, and it's hard to tell, but you can see some of it just didn't print right here.
Are you sculpting that?
These are sculpts I already own because I just want to test it. So then like I swapped it out with a 2mm. You can already see it's smooth here, and then you can see like all this came out a lot nicer on it. And then I purposely tried printing smaller with the 2, and like let me show you the resin one real quick. So Elise, who's a friend of ours, you probably met her at IX, Scott, but Elise's dad, he printed me this on with a resin printer.
Wow.
Oh, is this coming through clear?
It takes a second before it realizes what to focus on, but I can see it.
Like you kind of see how smooth it is. I wish I had a better way of.
There it is. I see. Like there it is, and I was jumped to it.
It popped in and out.
Why did it do that?
It really wants your beard in focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that. I think I did the black binder last time. That'll work here. So like you can kind of, let's see. I'm gonna step out.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, way better.
Yeah,
it's kind of like flat and clear, right? So then I took this exact sculpt. He sent it to me, and I ran it through the 2mm nozzle, and it printed pretty damn well.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
You know,
there's a little like spider webbing around the edges. I can see. Yeah, but it did pretty good.
So I had to put supports on it, right? So then the other day I printed like I also printed like a little coin. Like you can see, this is only 2 hours it took me to print this. Wow. So that's the only thing that sucks with the 2mm nozzle. It takes longer. And then here's an example of what it looks like with, you know, all the supports.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's fun. I'm having a good time, and then I went bigger. Like so last week,
construction site.
Yeah.
Yeah. So last week I printed this werewolf. I don't know if it's gonna come through. He's got a lot of
scaffolding comes down. We can see him.
What's that? There it is.
Once you take down the scaffolding.
Yeah. Well, I got it. So this is only his torso. Then I have another piece that has his legs.
Oh yeah.
Cool. And then I have a whole other piece that's like his base.
Nice.
So I'll put it all together. But I've been having a pretty good time because I'm learning. The more I learn about this, there's ways to like tell it not to print the walls so thick so you get away with things. Basically to print quicker. But like the 2mm nozzle really only comes in handy for like the little sculpts and stuff. But if like I could have easily printed with a 4 or a 6 with these coins and it would have looked just fine. But then I've been looking up things like deck boxes for magic cards and like I think I sent you a photo of my printer, Andrew. It's got like a spool, it's got like a vent thing that I made, everything to like make the printer a little better.
Yeah.
You can print all that with the only thing that sucks about it is it's not like hot swappable. Like you have to like unscrew the whole contraption.
That is crazy that they don't make that easier to do.
Like, I could just go you hot swappable in my book.
Thanks, man.
I got nothing to contribute to this 3D printing thing.
Yeah, I lost my train. What I was gonna say is, so there's the nozzle. I thought you can apparently just unscrew the nozzle and put a 2mm one in there, but people are reporting that there's a plastic piece behind it. Sometimes it breaks if you put too much tension on it. So the easy way, they call it, there's like the hot end and then the nozzle, right? So they said the best way to do it is take the whole piece off. You have to unscrew it. There's 2 cables inside, which are the thinnest fucking wires I've ever seen in my life. And I'm just like, who designed this thing? It's like we were so scared taking the old one out to put the new one in. I was like, we're gonna fuck this printer up, you know. Like I'm gonna lose a bunch of money on this. So after we did it, my friend Skates and I were like, yeah, we're not changing this back to the 4. We're just gonna leave it at 2, which, you know, like the first mermaid I showed you took 5 hours to print. The second one took 14 hours to print.
Yeah.
You know, so
you get finer detail, but it just takes a lot longer.
Because it's printing at a very, very tight like spool, and it's going slower. It's a little slower. It's not printing.
And you're also adjusting the layer height too, right?
So that's what I was reading articles where they're like, you can adjust the layer height on the base, you can adjust layer heights within, and then you could tell it to print it hollow or solid. So there's like different ways to do it, right? Like this has got some weight to it because it's printed solid. It's solid all the way to the top. And I feel like if I printed this hollow, I didn't test it yet. I'm curious. Like, I don't know what the hell would happen if I printed solid. I'm assuming it just goes around it versus straight up.
Yeah.
You know?
You should see if you can print like you can adjust it so it's not just like solid all the way through. You could do like an infill where it's like kind of like a lattice work inside it.
Okay.
And you can control the density of that, and you can see if you can actually get like, because like if you do it just hollow, I don't
think it's gonna go well. I think it's gonna collapse on it.
Exactly. Yeah, but if you have the infill on it, then it's kind of like it's hollow, but it's like not really. It's that lattice work. But you do get the benefit of like it's lighter and it's not using as much material throughout it, and it prints a little bit faster because it doesn't have to like print the entire layer solid.
I also don't understand why they have like these companies built this with, this is the base, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why not build this flat? Like, why build this on an angle?
So, well, I can answer that for you, but that's because that is set up for resin printing.
That's what I think.
And because they have it angled, they're trying to mitigate the amount of like print lines that you see in the resin print by doing it that way.
Because I did have a resin printer,
different ways. Yeah, if it's oriented different ways, you see less or more of like the grow lines, basically.
Got it. Okay. Well, I need to figure out a way to get rid of those structures, I suppose. You got your pen?
Yeah, I got the pen. I found the pen. Yeah. So it's let's see. There we go.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so basically it's a dip pen that is round all the way around.
On the end of a stick.
It feels like a bullet on the end of the stick. It has...
It's like housing the ink in four sides.
Yeah. Well, more than 4 sides. Basically, you can see it is like perfectly round. Oh, that's like terrible. But yeah, you can basically see it's perfectly round. It's interesting because like, okay, you know how like a crow quill, any kind of dip pen usually has like a bit of give to it where like the tines flex and everything. This one, not really, just from the way it's constructed, but it holds a crap ton of ink because of this, because like it basically is all welled up there. But then even it's like, I'm still trying to get used to handling it because it's like more like a brush than it is like a dip pen. Because like if you want like a fine line, you have to be like kind of like this the whole time. If you want to hold it at all like how you normally hold a writing thing, it's going to be like a big wide line.
It's almost acts like a brush.
Yeah. You can pretty much like this nib alone, you can go from like kind of like hairline thin to almost like the width of my thumb with the stroke.
That's kind of cool.
And yeah, it's really neat. I've not seen anyone else do these things. The pen company is Kakamori. I got it through an art store in St. Louis called St. Louis Art Supply, and they were the ones that had it at the time. I don't know if like any other distributors have sprung up, but they were the ones that I got it from.
Cool.
It's like super cool. Yeah, it's a really neat one. I'm still trying to figure out like what I can do with it so I can start playing with it more in like finished pieces. Yeah, it's a really, really interesting nib.
I know we're going long, but one thing I was gonna say, if you ever played with like those Presto whiteout pens, you can get like a Rite Aid. If you put that, like I used to do a lot of stuff in my like a moleskin, and I'd be on like the subway or whatever. You can white out a whole page, and I would use like high-tech C's. They're like super thin.
Oh yes, yeah.
You could draw with those, and then if you had like a pen blender, like those alcohol pen blenders with like a brush tip, you can move the ink would never soak into the page. It would just sit on the whiteout, and you can move it around and make like midtones and paint with it, and then go back in with the line. They're really cool atmospheric effects. Just want to put that out there before you guys.
That's kind of a cool trick.
Yeah.
All right, we have to wrap it up because we're at 2 hours. Scott, I know I shut off your website, but where else do you want to share that people can find all your stuff?
I mean, those are the two places, man.
Okay.
I'm no longer on Instagram. I made a hard stance once they started training AI, which probably bit me in the ass. But whatever.
No, you're still getting work and stuff.
That stuff's gonna. I think it's gonna burst on its own at some point.
Yeah, I'm no longer wasting time on reels, so that's nice.
I think I've done one reel, maybe two, when my Magic cards came out, and then I was like, "This is tedious. I don't." Like
just getting sucked into looking at my phone and going through reels.
Bro, I know that dive. Yeah, like I had to take TikTok off my phone, and like, I was just like, "This is bad." So yeah. And Andrew, where can we find all your stuff?
asidesart.com. I am on socials, but I don't really post anymore.
All right.
For various reasons.
You guys all should watch The Late Show Thursday night, or watch the YouTube of this year's Christmas special.
Yeah, so we can see your work.
I think it's like A Very Canceled Christmas is the title. It's the last Christmas special.
That's this Thursday, right?
Right.
Yeah, it'll be on YouTube like moments later. But I did a whole bunch of stuff. I did let's see, I did Hegsith, Kash Patel, Gnome, and I did a gross up of Trump's hands and ankles, among other things. I did a swole Caillou with prison tats, because all the PBS characters are in jail because they got defunded.
A swole, Jesus Christ, that is terrifying. Swole Caillou with prison tats.
It's gonna be a good one.
Neo-Nazi in my brain.
Pretty close.
Pretty much what he is.
Yeah.
How about you, Alan? Where can we find you?
All my stuff's under AllenPanakal Art. I mainly post on Instagram and Bluesky these days. Most of my Instagram stuff is just show, and then every once in a while I'll post new work. But Bluesky gets a lot of the new stuff. I rarely post to Facebook. Excuse me, except to post about this show if I remember to do that. I don't post on TikTok because someone's still squatting on my name, as everybody knows.
Don't need it anymore. It's fine. It's dead.
Dude, I'm gonna find that guy one day. I'm gonna make him regret it. So
I don't even have TikTok on my phone. I feel like this is one thing I don't need to.
I never had TikTok. So what happened was everyone told me I should sign up for it. And I thought, nah, what's the point? I don't make videos. And then my one friend was like, at least lock in on your name so no one can take it. And then when I went to make the name, somebody's sitting on my name. There's nothing there. And
I'm just like, sweet Panakal cash.
Apparently. And then, at first I thought it was my cousin's, because the hand is like this. It looks like a brown hand holding flowers. And I messaged my cousins in India to be like, which one of you guys is doing this? Like, give me my name back, And they were like, I swear it's not me. And then, I even had a connection with somebody who works at, there's a guy in the industry who worked at TikTok. He knew guys at the securities part of it. I talked to a guy at securities at TikTok, and I was like, this is me. That is not me. And they were like, well, if you can prove that your name is copyrighted and all that. So I sent them all the proof of that. And then they're like, well, can you prove your trademarks? And I'm like, do you want me to also like bungee jump for you guys while I'm at it? Like, what else do I need to do to prove I'm me? Like, what the fuck, So I talked to our lawyer. We all have the same lawyer, I think. But I talked to him, and he said, unless you're going to make it a thing that you're posting a lot of videos on TikTok and generating business, like if you decide to open a TikTok shop and you're going to generate flow there, leave it be. Like, so I changed my name on there for now. It says the real AllenPanakal is me, because that's all I really need to do. But if I find out there's a way to make money there, or if I can push more stuff of my art there, then I can ramp up the extra. But I don't think
in process vids. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do. I just don't even have I barely remember to post there when I'm at a show. Right. I just don't. It's just not in my way. I barely remember to record myself if I have to. I just don't do those things. You know what I mean? Because you're like, got to get the work done. That's all you do, right? So, all right. Well, I don't. Yeah. I want to say our next guest is John Sidarius. I always butcher his last name, but I'm having a hard time trying to get the exact timestamp with him. So he may or may not be on Thursday, depending on whether if he can. He's got a kid at home too, and so it's like a balance, right? So yeah. If he can get on, our next show will be this week, actually on Thursday, because then we're on holiday break for 2 weeks.
Yep.
So, but. Thanks, Scott, for being on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on, Scott.
I will let me take us offline, and then we can chat for a second before I bounce. But hang on. Thanks for everyone who watched.
Thanks.
This episode should go live as soon as I turn this off. I mean, it is live. It should stay on YouTube. I mean, bye. What I was going to say is